The galaxy was burning. Entire civilizations vanished in the span of a single generation. Star empires sent fleets of steel and fire against each other, and the void between stars echoed with the screams of dying worlds. To most of the galaxy, war was not a choice, it was survival. But one blue planet stayed silent: Earth. For centuries, Earth watched from the shadows. Human telescopes picked up the wreckage of distant wars. Secret satellites tracked battleships that could tear moons apart, yet humanity did not join. No fleets left Earth, no human generals signed alliances. Earth was invisible, a small world trying to remain unnoticed in the storm. But storms do not forget the quiet places. It began on a calm night over New York City. The air was clear. The skyscrapers glittered like glass towers under the moonlight. People filled the streets, laughing, working, dreaming, as if the universe outside their sky did not exist. At 2:17 a.m., the first strange light appeared. Pilots in the control tower at JFK Airport thought it was a meteor. A single streak of silver tearing across the sky. But meteors fall downward. This one stopped. It hung above the city, glowing like a star that had come too close. Then another light appeared, and another. By the time the third object hovered above Manhattan, the power grid faltered. Lights across the city flickered. Phones went dead. The night was filled with an unnatural silence, as if the world itself was holding its breath. And then the screaming began. Years before that night, Earth's leaders had made a choice. They had seen what happened to neutral planets that joined the Galactic War. Those worlds were burned, enslaved, or consumed. Humanity was not ready for such destruction. So, Earth built walls of secrecy. Governments worked together in silence, creating technology meant to hide them from alien sensors. Deep beneath the deserts of Nevada, bunkers were filled with machines never revealed to the public. Cybernetic weapons, drone fleets, starship prototypes hidden underground. Humanity prepared for a war they hoped would never come. The people above never knew. To them, the universe was quiet, empty, safe. Life went on with its usual struggles: politics, jobs, families. Earth looked ordinary, but beneath the surface, it was a fortress waiting to be tested. The first alien ship did not come to destroy. It came to crash. When the silver fireball over New York finally fell, it did not explode like a missile. It cut across the sky and plunged into the Hudson River with a thunderous roar. The impact sent waves crashing against the shore. Sirens wailed. People ran to the riverbanks, filming the chaos on their phones, not realizing what they were about to see. From the burning wreckage, something crawled out. It was tall, with dark skin that shimmered like metal. Its limbs bent in ways no human limbs could. Its eyes glowed faintly like dying stars. Soldiers surrounded it within minutes, weapons raised, but it did not attack. Instead, it stumbled forward, clutching its chest, and with its last breath, it spoke. "They are coming for you." Then it collapsed, lifeless, its body dissolving into ash before the soldiers' eyes. The news spread fast, though not the truth. Governments silenced the reports, blaming the explosion on a foreign satellite crashing into the river. Witnesses were questioned, phones confiscated. The world was told to forget, but the world did not forget. Whispers grew. The videos that escaped censorship went viral. Millions debated in the shadows of the internet. Was it real? Was humanity no longer alone? Meanwhile, in a hidden bunker in Colorado, the president of the United Earth Council stared at the recovered black box from the alien wreck. Inside, a single message repeated itself in a dozen alien languages. Neutral worlds will be conquered. No exceptions. Earth had been found. For weeks, nothing happened. No alien fleets appeared. No further warnings came. Humanity held its breath, but in secret, Earth's defenses awakened. Submarines armed with weapons no civilian had ever seen were deployed into the oceans. Satellites carrying energy cannons were pushed into orbit under cover of darkness. Factories doubled their output, producing machines that did not yet have names. Still, most of the world carried on as if nothing had changed. Children went to school. Families planned vacations. The night skies seemed peaceful. Humanity wanted to believe the storm would pass them by, but the soldiers and scientists in underground bases knew better. The alien survivors' final words echoed in their minds. They are coming. The storm finally came 1 month later. On a quiet night over the Pacific Ocean, radar operators aboard a U.S. naval carrier detected strange objects at the edge of Earth's atmosphere. At first, they thought it was space debris. Then the objects accelerated. They moved with speed no human aircraft could match. The alarms sounded. Jets scrambled into the sky. Across the world, other bases reported the same intrusions. Unknown ships were entering Earth's atmosphere from every direction. New York, Tokyo, Cairo, London. At 3:11 a.m., the first alien ship broke through the clouds. Above Los Angeles, it was enormous, shaped like a blade of silver light. People in the streets froze as the shadow swallowed entire blocks. The ship did not fire at first. It simply hovered, its presence alone enough to paralyze millions in fear. Then, with a single flash, it unleashed a beam that tore through the skyline. Skyscrapers melted like wax. Roads split open. The city became a battlefield in seconds. But Earth was not unprepared. Within minutes, hidden defense systems activated. In Los Angeles, missile silos disguised as warehouses opened fire. Energy cannons hidden beneath highways roared to life. Fighter jets, some carrying weapons reverse-engineered. From alien wreckage swarmed the skies. The world watched live as human forces struck back. And for the first time, the galaxy learned that Earth was not weak. One alien ship fell that night, crashing into the ocean with a sound like thunder. Humanity had drawn blood. But the price was heavy. Thousands died in the first hours. Cities burned. The night sky was filled with fire. In the chaos, world leaders gathered through secure channels. The truth could no longer be hidden. Earth was at war. The President of the United Earth Council made a single announcement broadcast to the planet. Humanity did not seek this war. We wished only for peace. But the enemy has come to our home. We will fight. We will endure. We will show the galaxy what it means to stand as defenders of Earth. For the first time in history, the nations of Earth united under one banner. Humanity was no longer silent. The defenders had risen, and somewhere in the darkness of space, alien fleets prepared to test Earth's courage. The storm had only begun. The alien lay broken on the ground, its glowing eyes fading like dying embers. Soldiers circled it with weapons ready, unsure if it was still a threat. The strange creature reached out with trembling fingers, its voice rasping as if every word burned. "They are coming for you." Those were its last words before its body turned to ash and scattered into the wind. The message echoed through the silence of the bunker where the recording was replayed again and again. Generals leaned over the glowing screen, pale and shaken. Scientists froze in disbelief. Leaders whispered to one another in fear. "They are coming for you." No one in the room dared to breathe. Humanity had been warned. The night of fire had ended. The alien ships that attacked Earth retreated, leaving smoking craters where cities once stood. Thousands were dead. Millions were homeless. Entire neighborhoods had vanished in light and ash. The world mourned. But beneath the grief, a single truth remained. Humanity was no longer hidden. The governments of Earth had no choice but to reveal the truth. At sunrise, broadcasts reached every screen, every radio, every corner of the planet. The President of the United Earth Council stood before a global audience. "We are not alone. The galaxy is filled with empires, and some have chosen to destroy us, but we will not bow. We will not break. We are the defenders of Earth. For the first time in history, the entire world shared the same fear. And for the first time, humanity shared the same enemy. In a secret chamber beneath Colorado, the alien ship's black box was examined. It was no ordinary device. It pulsed with strange energy, its surface shifting like liquid metal. No tool could break it open. No fire could melt it. Finally, after weeks of decoding, the device opened on its own. A flood of holographic images filled the room. The generals saw endless fleets stretching across the stars, burning worlds into silence. They saw cities carved into ash, skies darkened by fire, and millions of beings chained in fields of slavery. The message repeated in a dozen alien voices, each one colder than the last. Neutral worlds will be conquered, no exceptions. Hide if you wish, run if you dare, but the war will find you. The room fell silent. Humanity had tried to stay hidden, but the galaxy had decided. Earth was now a target. As the weeks passed, Earth trembled. Ordinary people lived in fear of the sky. Children woke from nightmares, expecting alien fire to rain again. Cities built walls of steel. Sirens tested every hour. The world felt like it was holding its breath, but inside the halls of power, fear turned to argument. Some leaders demanded surrender. They believed Earth could not fight the endless fleets they had seen in the holograms. We must survive, they said, even if survival means submission. Others refused. They believed surrender was death disguised as mercy. If we bow, we become slaves. If we fight, we may fall, but we will fall free. The debates grew fierce. Nations accused each other of weakness. Old rivalries returned. The unity forged during the first strike began to fracture. And in the shadows, humanity's greatest minds worked day and night to prepare for what was coming. Not all of the alien's body had turned to ash. A single shard of strange metal had remained, glowing faintly as if alive. When scientists touched it, the shard hummed with energy. Symbols appeared across its surface, shifting into shapes no one could understand. Until one day, the shard began to change. It reshaped itself into a perfect map of the stars. Lines of light connected system to system, tracing the pathways of war. At the edge of the map, one star glowed brighter than the rest, Earth, and from the center of the galaxy, a dark wave was moving outward, pushing closer and closer to that glowing point. The shard was not only a warning, it was a countdown. Despite every effort to control the truth, whispers spread among the people. Conspiracy channels, secret forums, pirate broadcasts, all carried the same chilling story. Humanity had been marked. Some refused to believe. They called it propaganda, a way for governments to seize control, but others prepared. They built bunkers, armed themselves, and waited for the day the sky would fall again. And in every corner of the earth, a quiet determination grew. Humanity had been underestimated for centuries by itself and by others. But now, faced with extinction, people whispered a new idea. If the aliens were coming, Earth would not wait to die. The leaders of the United Earth Council met in a chamber deep beneath Geneva. The air was heavy. The black box pulsed on the table like a heart. The holograms of burning worlds hovered around them. At last, the president spoke. We cannot surrender. We cannot hide. The survivor warned us for a reason. If we do nothing, we will share the fate of those we saw in the recordings. We must prepare. The council voted. By the smallest of margins, the choice was made. Earth would fight. Once the decision was final, the council sent out a signal. It was short, sharp, and dangerous. To the empires of the stars, to the ones who destroy and conquer, Earth has heard your message, and this is ours. We are ready. The signal shot into the void, racing faster than light. Somewhere in the galaxy, someone would hear it, and the war would no longer be a shadow waiting in silence. It would come. Far away, in a hidden fortress of steel orbiting a dead star, the signal was received. Alien commanders bent over the glowing screens, their eyes cold and merciless. So Earth had chosen defiance. The fleets were summoned. Thousands of warships stirred in the dark, engines roaring like thunder. Weapons the size of cities were armed, an entire armada prepared to descend, and in the silence of space, a single order was spoken. Destroy them. Back on Earth, humanity had no illusions. The fleets they had seen in the black box could erase their world in days, but humans had always been strongest when pushed to the edge. Factories ran without rest. New weapons were built in secret. AI-driven. Drones filled the skies. Soldiers trained in underground bases. Pilots tested ships designed with stolen alien technology, and though fear spread across the globe, a new fire burned with it. Humanity was no longer a silent world trying to hide. Humanity was becoming something else. A defender. The stars above. Earth looked calm that night. The moon shone bright. The oceans reflected the silver light as if nothing had changed. Lovers walked along beaches. Children fell asleep under warm blankets. Families ate dinner as if the world was still safe. But those who watched the skies knew the truth. The Shard's countdown was nearly over. Somewhere beyond the horizon of stars, the fleets were coming. And when they arrived, humanity would face the greatest test of its history. The warning had been given. The choice had been made. The storm was on its way, and Earth stood waiting. It began at midnight. Above the Pacific Ocean, the stars disappeared. Sailors aboard the carrier USS Valor looked up and saw the sky swallowed by shadow. At first they thought it was a storm, but no storm moved like this. The shape was too sharp, too deliberate. Then the stars returned, but they returned wrong, because what blocked them was not cloud, it was a ship. A warship larger than any mountain on Earth. Its hull gleamed like liquid steel, its edges glowing red as if it had been forged in fire. And as it descended, every man and woman on that deck felt the same thing at once. This was not a battle. This was an execution. The alarms screamed across the ship. Fighters scrambled into the night. The admiral shouted orders that vanished under the thunder of engines. Across the Pacific, other fleets reported the same sight. Dozens of alien ships were entering the atmosphere, some as small as aircraft carriers, some so large they blocked entire cities from the sky. The world was waking into fire. Above Tokyo, a silver blade-shaped ship tore through the clouds. Above Cairo, an orb glowing with lightning hovered, its surface shifting like water. Above New York, a tower of black steel hung in the night like a coffin ready to close. The invasion had begun. At 12:07 a.m., the first beam fell. The ship above Tokyo unleashed a blast of white fire. Skyscrapers melted like wax. Streets turned into rivers of flame. Thousands died in the first seconds. The screams of millions filled the air. In Cairo, the orb released bolts of lightning that tore across the desert, splitting stone and sand as if the earth itself was rebelling. Ancient monuments crumbled, and above New York, the Black Tower released something worse than fire. A wave of darkness spread across the city, killing every light, every engine, every machine. Cars stopped. Planes fell from the sky. The city was swallowed in silence, broken only by human fear. But Earth was not helpless. In Los Angeles, hidden beneath the freeways, missile silos opened. From the deserts of Nevada, energy cannons rose from underground chambers. In the oceans, submarines armed with weapons reverse-engineered from alien wreckage fired torpedoes that glowed with stolen alien energy. The order rang across the world. Strike back. Missiles filled the sky. Energy beams shot upward like lightning from the ground. Drones swarmed into battle, guided by AI faster than human thought. Fighter jets screamed into the night, and for the first time, the aliens met resistance they had not expected. One ship above the Pacific took a direct hit from Earth's newest weapon, a railgun powered by the magnetic heart of the planet itself. The blast tore through the alien hull, splitting the giant ship in two. The world watched in shock. The impossible had happened. Humanity had destroyed an alien warship, but victory was not free. For every alien ship that fell, 5 more descended. Their weapons cut cities apart. Their soldiers rained down from the skies in drop pods of burning metal. Streets filled with monstrous figures, armored and merciless, wielding weapons that disintegrated everything they touched. Soldiers fought with rifles and tanks, but the aliens cut through them like paper. Only in places where Earth's secret weapons were deployed did humanity stand a chance. In Los Angeles, a cybernetic unit known as the Iron Guard held a line for 3 hours against endless waves of alien troops. In Moscow, drone swarms sacrificed themselves to keep the skies clear long enough for civilians to flee. In Rio, hidden railguns took down 2 alien destroyers before they were themselves destroyed. The price was blood. Streets ran red. Cities burned. But humanity refused to kneel. Every screen in every surviving city carried the same image. A shaky video taken by a soldier's helmet camera showing the moment an alien warship fell into the ocean. The world saw it, and for the first time, people realized something incredible. The aliens could bleed. The aliens could fall. The fear that had gripped the planet since the first attack shifted into something else. Not hope, not yet, but defiance. Ordinary citizens began to fight in any way they could. Farmers used tractors to block alien advance. Hackers targeted alien systems with primitive but relentless attacks. Civilians carried messages, supplies, and weapons through fire and chaos. The world was no longer just surviving. It was resisting. In the skies above Earth, alien commanders watched with cold interest. From the bridge of the largest warship, the fleet leader observed humanity's response. Primitive weapons, yes, but coordinated, clever, unexpected. "This world resists," one alien officer growled. "They will fall," the leader replied, "but their spirit will cost us ships. Mark this world, it will not be taken easily." The order was given: increase the pressure, show them fear, break them before they believe they can win. At 2:14 a.m., in the heart of the Pacific battle, humanity faced its greatest test. A super dreadnought, larger than any other, descended directly above Hawaii. Its shadow swallowed the islands. Its weapon, charged, a beam capable of vaporizing an entire continent. On the deck of the USS Valor, Admiral Reyes gave a single command: all weapons, fire. Railguns, missiles, drones, and cannons unleashed everything at once. The night turned white with fire. The dreadnought staggered. Its shields flickered. Its beam collapsed before it could fire. And then, with a sound like the tearing of the world itself, the giant ship fell. The impact shook the ocean like an earthquake. Waves towered into the sky. The ship vanished beneath the waves, dragging fire and smoke with it. For the second time that night, Earth had destroyed the impossible. When morning came, the skies were black with smoke. Cities were broken. Millions were gone. The world was scarred, but humanity still stood. Across the planet, stories spread of defiance. A single drone pilot in China who held off a squadron of alien fighters for 10 minutes, long enough for refugees to escape. A team of engineers in Germany who rebuilt a damaged railgun mid-battle and destroyed a cruiser with the final shot. A group of civilians in Nigeria who trapped alien soldiers in collapsing buildings and fought them with nothing but fire and stone. The world had bled, but it had not broken. In Geneva, the United Earth Council gathered once again. Their cities burned, their people mourned, but their voices carried no fear. The president stood before the world. Last night, humanity faced an army built to destroy us, and we did not fall. We lost much, but we proved one truth: they can be beaten, they can be broken. And if they return, they will learn what it means to fight humanity. The world cheered through its grief. The first strike had come, Earth had survived, and in the shadows of space, alien fleets regrouped. The war was far from over, but for the first time, humanity believed it could fight, and that belief was more dangerous than any weapon. The alien fleet expected silence after the first strike. They expected Earth to cry out in fear, to beg for mercy, to kneel. But when the next night came, the skies above the Nevada desert tore open. A roar louder than thunder shook the ground. From beneath the mountains, the Earth split, and a machine rose from the darkness. A machine the size of a skyscraper, its steel body glowing with fire, its arms armed with weapons no alien had ever seen. Humanity had been hiding something. The world thought Earth was weak. The aliens thought humanity was prey. They were wrong. The first invasion had ended, but Earth was bleeding. Cities across the world were scarred. Millions had died. Smoke still rose from broken towers. Streets were filled with rubble and ash. Families searched for their missing. But even in grief, humanity did not stop. Factories worked day and night. Soldiers drilled in shattered streets. Engineers built weapons in secret hangars. The world knew the aliens would return, and when they did, Earth would be ready. And in the deserts of Nevada, the greatest secret of all waited. Decades before the invasion, when Earth first suspected it was being watched, a group of scientists and generals began a project so secret that even most governments never knew. It was called Project Aegis. Beneath mountains, inside caverns carved by machines, humanity built weapons far beyond anything used in ordinary wars. Machines powered by reactors the size of houses, armor created from reverse-engineered alien alloys recovered from old crashes, artificial intelligence designed to think faster than any human mind. For years, these weapons slept, hidden beneath the desert sand. Only a small group of commanders and engineers knew they existed, until now, when the first alien strike ended, the Council gave a single order: wake them. The ground trembled across the Nevada desert. At secret bases around, the world armored hangars split open. Inside, the machines stirred. The first was a walking giant, a war mech taller than a skyscraper. Its body bristled with cannons. Its fists could crush tanks. Its armor gleamed black, layered with stolen alien tech. It was called Titan I. The second was a swarm. Thousands of drones, no larger than birds, armed with energy weapons and guided by a single AI. They rose into the skies like a cloud of steel. They were called Stormhawks. The third was a ship hidden beneath the ocean. A submarine longer than any skyscraper was tall, carrying torpedoes that could pierce alien shields. It was named Leviathan, and there were more. Each one a secret. Each one a weapon meant for only one purpose: to defend Earth. The aliens returned on the seventh night. Smaller raids. Ships testing Earth's defenses. Over Nevada, a fleet of alien bombers appeared, preparing to level what they believed was empty desert. But the desert was not empty. The ground split. Titan I rose. Its engines screamed, and the desert floor shook. Its cannons lit the night. In minutes, the bombers were gone, shredded by fire and steel. The world watched the footage in disbelief. Humanity had built machines that could fight alien warships head-on. In the skies above Asia, the Stormhawks clashed with alien fighters. The swarm moved like one mind, dodging beams, striking with precision. Alien pilots who had fought 100 wars screamed as they were torn apart by weapons smaller than their own hands. In the Pacific, the Leviathan rose from the depths, launching torpedoes that streaked across the waves and tore through alien hulls. Ships that had survived 1,000 battles sank into the sea. The galaxy had underestimated Earth. On their command ship, alien officers watched the battles with unease. "This world was not supposed to have this technology," one said. "They "Are primitives," another hissed. "They should be broken by now." But the leader remained silent. His cold eyes studied the human weapons with interest. He understood something the others did not. This was not stolen technology. This was adaptation. This was invention, and it meant Earth was dangerous. But secrets always carry a price. Project Aegis had been built in silence, without the knowledge of most of Earth's people. When the machines rose, the world was stunned, but also divided. Some cheered. They saw hope in the giants and the swarms. They saw salvation in the Leviathan. Others grew fearful. If Earth had hidden these weapons for so long, what else had it hidden? Could these machines turn against their own people? The Council struggled to keep control, but one truth cut through the fear. Without these weapons, Earth would already be ash. With their new strength, Earth struck back. Titan I marched into ruined cities, fighting alongside soldiers to drive alien ground forces into retreat. Its cannons shattered armored beasts that no human weapon could pierce. The Stormhawks swarmed alien carriers in orbit, overwhelming their shields with relentless strikes. They moved too fast, too many for alien defenses to stop. The Leviathan prowled the oceans, hunting any alien ship that dared approach. Its attacks were silent, unseen, until massive explosions tore ships apart beneath the waves. For the first time, humanity was not only surviving, it was pushing back. The footage of Titan I crushing alien soldiers beneath its steel fists spread across every screen. The image of Stormhawks darkening the skies went viral. The sound of the Leviathan surfacing became a symbol of hope. The world began to believe, and the Council sent a new message into space. You thought we were prey. You thought we would hide. You thought we would break. Look at us now. We are the defenders of Earth. The message echoed across the stars. Other civilizations heard it. Some in secret cheered. Others grew fearful. The galaxy was beginning to see humanity not as prey, but as a rising power. But the alien fleets were not finished. They had crushed countless worlds before. They knew how to adapt. New weapons were prepared. Shields were redesigned. Fleets grew. Larger. The aliens would not make the same mistake twice, and deep within their command ship, the leader gave a chilling order. If they have secrets, then we will break them open. If they have weapons, then we will burn them. This Earth thinks it is strong. We will show them the truth of war. For now, Earth stood tall. The people, once terrified, now raised their heads with pride. The world was scarred, but it was alive. Children in shelters drew pictures of Titan I. Soldiers painted Stormhawks on their helmets. Sailors whispered prayers to the Leviathan. Hope had returned. But hope is fragile, because even as humanity celebrated, sensors at the edge of the solar system detected movement, something vast, something terrible. The aliens were coming again, not in dozens, not in hundreds, but in thousands. The greatest fleet humanity had ever seen was on its way, and Earth's secret weapons would face their true test. The signal had gone out. Across the stars, Earth's message burned. It was a challenge and a promise. Humanity would not bow. Humanity would fight. Humanity would endure, and the galaxy answered. One night, telescopes detected hundreds of ships approaching, not alien warships, but vessels marked with symbols never seen before. Their hulls gleamed with silver light, their shapes elegant, their weapons hidden. The Council cheered. At last, help had come. At last, Earth had allies. But as the ships drew closer, as their leaders revealed their faces, something was wrong. They did not come as friends. They came as masters. The alien fleet entered Earth's orbit with precision, moving like a single mind. Unlike the brutal conquerors humanity had fought before, these ships did not fire. They hovered in silence, watching. Messages filled the skies in holographic text, translated into every human language. People of Earth, we have seen your struggle. We offer you peace. We offer you protection. Surrender your weapons. Surrender. Your fleets, join us and you will be safe. At first, the council was divided. Some leaders were desperate for peace. They saw the alien fleet as salvation. Others felt unease. Protection always came with a price. The debate raged for hours until the strangers revealed their true terms. On the third day, the alien leaders demanded a meeting. They appeared in towering holograms inside the council chambers. Their bodies were tall and slender, their skin like polished stone, their eyes cold and golden. They spoke in perfect human words. Earth must give up all advanced weapons. The Titans, the Stormhawks, the Leviathan, they belong to us now. Your soldiers will serve our fleets. Your resources will feed our empires. In return, we will protect your world. Refuse, and you will share the fate of the others. Silence filled the chamber. This was not protection. It was conquest disguised as kindness. The betrayal was clear. Some council members begged to accept. If we resist, we die. If we obey, we live. What use is freedom if our world burns? But others rose in fury. They want slaves, not allies. If we give them our weapons, we are nothing. If we fight, at least we fight as humans. The president listened. The room shook with argument. At last, she stood and spoke. Earth will not trade freedom for chains. We did not survive the first. Strike to kneel now. Tell your masters this. We are not yours to command. We are not your prey. We are defenders of our own world. The message was sent. The alien holograms vanished, and in the silence that followed, the council knew the price. The alien fleet had not come for peace. It had come for conquest. Within hours of Earth's refusal, the elegant ships turned. Their weapons unfolded like blades of light, energy cannons charged, armored pods detached, filled with soldiers bred for obedience. The allies became enemies. The betrayal was complete. The first strike came against Geneva, where the council chambers stood. Alien soldiers fell from the sky in pods of silver fire. They landed in the streets, tall figures armored in gold, carrying weapons that fired beams of searing energy. But Earth was ready. Titan I, hidden in the Alps, marched through the mountains. Its cannons roared, tearing the alien dropships from the sky. Soldiers on the ground fought street by street, their rifles glowing with new energy rounds. The battle raged for hours. The city shook with fire and smoke. Civilians fled into bunkers while defenders held the line. In the end, Geneva stood. But the betrayal had scarred the world. Humanity now knew that not all enemies came with fire. Some came with promises. The second strike came at sea. The Leviathan prowled beneath the Pacific when the alien fleet descended, dozens of sleek silver. Warships dropped from orbit, their weapons glowing like suns. They fired beams into the ocean, boiling the water, turning waves into steam. But the Leviathan was not prey. It rose from the depths like a monster of legend, its cannons blazing. Torpedoes streaked across the waves, punching holes into silver. Hulls. The ocean became fire, a battlefield of thunder and lightning. By the end, the sea was filled with wreckage. The Leviathan vanished beneath the waves again, silent, waiting for its next hunt. Above Asia, the Stormhawks fought their deadliest. Battle yet. Alien fighters swarmed in formations tighter than any human pilot could match. They moved like predators, slicing through the skies, but the swarm was faster. The Stormhawks moved as one, weaving and striking with deadly precision. Thousands of drones against thousands of alien ships. The sky turned into a storm of fire. The battle lasted until dawn. When the sun rose, the skies were clear of alien ships, but half the Stormhawks were gone. The swarm had won, but at a terrible cost. When the battles ended, Earth was furious. The betrayal united humanity more than ever before. The people no longer debated surrender. The time for fear was over. In cities across the world, Survivors painted words on walls and broken buildings. We will never bow. Children sang songs of the Titans and the Stormhawks. Soldiers marched through ruined streets with heads held high. Farmers sent food to the front lines. Engineers built weapons faster than ever. Earth was wounded, but Earth was awake. Across the stars, whispers spread. Other civilizations, long conquered, saw Earth's defiance and remembered their own lost battles. Some cheered in secret. Some trembled, knowing their masters would crush Earth harder for daring to resist. But one truth was clear. Earth was different. Other worlds had surrendered when offered protection. Other worlds had given up when betrayed. But Earth had refused. Earth had fought. The galaxy had seen it. And the galaxy would not forget. Far away, the alien leaders gathered in silence. They resist more than expected, one said. They should be broken already, another hissed. But the leader remained calm. His golden eyes glowed as he studied the battle reports. Humanity is stubborn, he said. They believe their weapons make them strong. But strength is not in weapons, it is in unity. Break their unity, and they will fall. The next phase of the war was already being planned. Not only fire from the sky, but shadows in the dark, spies, lies, sabotage. The war for Earth was far from finished. When the dust settled, Earth stood scarred but unbroken. The cities still smoked, the oceans still burned, the skies still echoed with the memory of fire, but the people looked upward with new eyes. They no longer saw only stars. They saw enemies, they saw danger, but they also saw possibility. Humanity was not just defending anymore. Humanity was learning. Humanity was growing. Humanity was preparing. The betrayal had failed, and Earth was still free. That night the Council sent one more message into space, a message stronger than the last. To those who come with chains disguised as gifts, to those who offer peace while holding blades, we see you, we know you, and we are not afraid. If you return, you will face the same fate as those who burned. Our skies, this is not your world, this is Earth, and we will defend it. The message blazed across the stars, and far away in the darkness of the galaxy, alien fleets prepared to answer. The storm was not over. It was only growing. The sky burned, red not from sunset, not from fire, but from ships, thousands of them blotting out the stars. For days, Earth's radars had tracked the fleet. For hours, soldiers had dug trenches, fueled weapons, prepared defenses. For minutes, silence held, heavy and suffocating. Then, the first shot fell. A beam of white light struck the Sahara, and a crater the size of a city was left behind. The ground shook. The oceans roared. The war for Earth had begun. The alien fleet descended in waves. Warships larger than mountains took position in orbit. Dropships poured from their hulls like locusts. The air filled with burning streaks as pods crashed into deserts, forests, cities, and seas. Every continent was hit at once. In North America, armored beasts marched from the wreckage of pods, their claws tearing through tanks. In Europe, silver-armored soldiers fired beams that melted steel and stone. In Asia, swarm drones the size of wolves rushed through streets, hunting humans with red eyes and steel fangs. The ground war had begun, and Earth itself was the battlefield. Near the ruins of Paris, millions of soldiers stood ready, behind sandbags and steel walls. They waited with rifles glowing blue from alien alloy cores. The ground trembled as dropships landed. Alien soldiers emerged, their golden armor gleaming. They raised their weapons. The order came. Fire! The night turned into thunder. Rifles roared, cannons boomed, explosions tore through the alien ranks. The first line held, but the enemy kept coming, endless, tireless, merciless. For every alien that fell, two more emerged. By dawn, Paris was fire and rubble, but the line had not broken, not yet. On the second day, Titan I marched to war. The giant machine rose from the Alps, its footsteps shaking valleys, its cannons glowing. It waded into battle against armored beasts the size of buildings. One swipe of its steel arm crushed alien tanks. One blast of its chest cannon tore through entire platoons. Soldiers cheered as Titan I fought, the symbol of Earth's strength. But even Titan I could not be everywhere. While it fought in Europe, other continents bled. Above Asia, the skies turned black with alien fighters. They moved in swarms tighter than ever, darting like wasps, firing beams that cut through clouds. But the Stormhawks rose to meet them. Thousands of drones, flying as one mind, filled the skies. The two swarms collided, a storm of light and steel. Pilots on the ground watched with awe as the battle raged overhead. The Stormhawks moved faster, sharper, cutting through alien formations with impossible precision. But the cost was heavy. Thousands of drones fell in flames, littering the earth with wreckage. Still, they fought until the skies were clear again. In the Pacific, the Leviathan surfaced. The alien fleet had deployed sea-borne carriers, massive ships that floated like cities, launching wave after wave of soldiers and drones onto the shores. The Leviathan struck without warning. Torpedoes streaked through the water, piercing hulls, sending fire into the skies. Alien carriers burned and sank. The ocean boiled with wreckage. The Leviathan dove again, disappearing into the depths, waiting for its next prey. The seas belonged to Earth, for now. While soldiers and machines fought, civilians waged their own war. In New York, families hid in subway tunnels, building barricades with their bare hands. When alien scouts entered, they fought with rifles, knives, even fire. In rural villages, farmers turned tractors into armored vehicles, strapping cannons on wagons, ambushing alien patrols. Children carried messages through ruined streets. Engineers repaired drones with scrap. Doctors turned basements into hospitals. The people of Earth were not waiting to be saved. They fought in every way they could. Inside the underground command bunker, the Council watched maps covered in red. Every hour, more cities fell. Every day, more soldiers died. Arguments erupted. Some called for retreat. Others demanded total counterattack. The president stood firm. This is not just a battle for cities. This is a battle for the soul of Earth. If we surrender now, we lose everything. We fight until we cannot stand, and then we crawl, and then we rise again. But we never bow. Her words spread across the world. Soldiers repeated them. Civilians whispered them. Earth fought harder. On the fifth day, the aliens unleashed a terror never seen before. From their ships, they dropped creatures bred only for war. Towering beasts of muscle and steel, their bodies covered in armor, their arms ending in blades. Their roars shook the air. They were called war hulks. Entire battalions fell before them. Tanks were ripped apart. Walls crumbled under their charge. Even Titan I struggled, its cannons blasting one after another as the beasts swarmed it, clawing at its armor. For the first time, fear spread through the defenders. Could even their strongest weapons hold? Against such monsters, the answer came from the ground. Soldiers in hidden trenches aimed prototype railguns, weapons built in secret with alien alloys. The shots screamed like thunder, punching through war hulks with impossible force. Drones swarmed from rooftops, distracting the beasts, buying precious seconds, and Titan I, battered but unbroken, raised its fist and smashed the last war hulk into the ground with a quake that shook the battlefield. The line held, but victory came at a terrible cost. Entire cities were lost. Millions more had died. The Stormhawks were half their strength. Titan I was damaged, its armor cracked, its reactor strained. The Council knew the truth. The war had only begun, and Earth was bleeding faster than it could heal. Yet even in despair, something burned brighter. The people of Earth refused to surrender. Far above, on the command ship, the alien leader watched in silence. "These humans should be broken," one officer hissed. "They fight beyond reason. They fight beyond survival. What drives them? The leader's golden eyes narrowed. "They are not like the others. They fight not only for life, but for pride, for defiance, for something we cannot understand." He turned from the screen, his voice low and cold. "Then we will break their spirit. Strike not only their armies, strike their hearts." For a brief moment, silence fell. The battles slowed, the skies cleared, the oceans calmed. In camps across the world, soldiers rested beside fires, families gathered in shelters, telling stories of hope. Titan 1 stood silent, its lights dimmed as engineers worked through the night, but everyone knew this was not peace. It was the breath before the storm, and in the dark of space, the alien fleet prepared something worse than fire, something that would test not Earth's weapons, but Earth's very soul. The broadcast began without warning. Every screen on Earth flickered. Every radio, every phone, every tower went silent, then glowed with the same signal. The image that appeared was not human. It was the alien leader. His golden eyes burned, his voice calm and cold as ice. "People of Earth," he said, "you fight, you resist, you bleed. But know this, your war is already lost. Watch." And then the screens changed. Cities lit up with fire, families screaming, soldiers dying, the destruction shown in real time, broadcast to every corner of Earth. The war had not only reached their homes, it had reached their hearts. The aliens had changed tactics. No longer did they strike only with fire and soldiers. Now they struck with fear. They targeted hospitals first. Medical ships bombed, shelters destroyed, doctors hunted. Civilians wept as hope bled away. Then they attacked communication lines. Towers fell, satellites burned, networks collapsed. Families could no longer call loved ones. Commanders could no longer reach their armies. Silence spread like poison. Finally, they turned to lies. The aliens broadcast fake messages, pretending to be human leaders. They ordered false retreats, spreading confusion. They showed forged footage of Titans falling, Stormhawks destroyed, the Leviathan sunk. It was a war not only of weapons, but of the mind. In the ruins of Berlin, soldiers held the line for days. When the false broadcasts came, telling them reinforcements would never arrive, panic spread. Some abandoned their posts, others surrendered, believing Earth had already fallen. Alien troops marched into the broken city, taking it without firing a shot. The fall of Berlin echoed across the world. If even the strongest defenders could break, what chance did anyone else have? Far away, Titan 1 stood against a horde of war hulks. Its cannons thundered, its fists crushed steel, but the broadcasts reached even here. On giant screens mounted by alien drones, soldiers watched footage of Titan 1 destroyed in Paris, footage that was false but looked real. Fear spread through the ranks. They believed their protector was already dead. Some fled the field, others dropped their weapons. Titan 1 fought harder, roaring into the night. But for the first time, it fought almost alone in the skies over Asia. The Stormhawks faced endless alien fighters. They had always fought as one mind, fast and precise. But the enemy found a weakness. They hacked the swarm signals. One by one, the drones broke formation. Some crashed into each other. Others turned and attacked their own. The sky became chaos. The swarm shattered. By the end of the battle, half the Stormhawks were gone, the rest scattered, their unity broken. Beneath the Pacific, the Leviathan hunted alien carriers. It was the shadow in the deep, feared and untouchable, but the aliens laid a trap. They lured it with false signals, then struck with a new weapon, depth charges the size of houses, powered by alien energy cores. The ocean shook, fire and water collided. The Leviathan took the hit. Its hull cracked. Its reactor flickered. It barely escaped, diving into the abyss, silent and wounded. The world waited for it to surface again, but it did not. The broadcasts continued, each one darker than the last. Children saw their heroes die on screens. Families, believed their armies were gone. Cities believed they were alone. Graffiti that once shouted, "We will never bow," now read, "We are finished." Even in the council's bunker, voices grew weaker. Arguments turned into silence. Leaders stared at maps covered in red. Some whispered of surrender. For the first time, Earth felt not only fear, but despair. But the president did not bow. She stood before the cameras in the bunker, her face weary, but her eyes sharp. "People of Earth," she said, "the enemy lies. They want you to believe we are broken. They want you to see shadows instead of light. But I tell you this, we are still here. Titan 1 still stands, the Stormhawks still fly, the Leviathan still hunts, and you are still alive. As long as we live, we fight. As long as we fight, we win." Her words spread through the underground channels that still worked. Soldiers whispered them, civilians repeated them. For some, it was enough. For others, despair remained stronger. The battle for hope was not over. But the aliens had planned even more. They had planted spies. Humans who had betrayed their own kind promised survival in exchange for loyalty. In secret bases, sabotage erupted, fuel stores exploded, weapons vanished, codes were stolen and given to the enemy. Even in the council's bunker, whispers spread. Who among them could be trusted? Who had already been turned? The war for Earth was not only outside, it was inside. The worst came in Cairo. Tens of thousands of civilians had gathered in shelters beneath the ancient city. Soldiers defended them with walls of steel and fire, but someone betrayed them. Coordinates were sent to the enemy. At dawn, alien warships appeared above the city. They fired once, twice, 3 times. When the smoke cleared, Cairo was gone. Millions had died in minutes. The broadcast showed everything, not only the fire, but the screams, the tears, the silence that followed. The world watched, and the world broke. After Cairo, the council split. Some leaders slammed fists on the table, demanding vengeance. Others lowered their heads, whispering surrender. The president shouted above the noise, "If we surrender, Cairo dies for nothing. If we fight, Cairo lives in us. We cannot give up now. We will never give up." But her voice was drowned in arguments. In fear, in doubt, for the first time, the council was close to collapse. Far above, the alien leader watched with a cold smile. "Look at them," he said. "Their spirit crumbles. Their armies scatter. Their leaders divide. Hope is gone." An officer asked, "Shall we finish them now?" The leader's golden eyes gleamed. "Not yet. Let them suffer. Let them drown in despair. When they beg for mercy, then we will strike the final blow. Earth will not just be conquered, it will be broken." That night, Earth was quiet. No broadcasts of defiance, no cheers of victory, no songs of hope, only silence. Soldiers sat in trenches with empty eyes, families huddled in shelters, too tired to cry. Children asked questions no one could answer. The stars above burned cold. The alien fleet hovered, waiting, watching. It seemed the war was already lost. But in the shadows, something still stirred. Because despair is heavy. But it is not final, and even when hope falls, it can rise again. The alien leader believed Earth was broken. He believed despair had crushed them. He believed silence meant surrender. But in the ruins of Cairo, under the ash and smoke, a soldier raised a torn flag. The cloth was burned, the pole broken, but the colors still shone. Others saw it. They raised their voices, they raised their weapons, and for the first time since the war began, Earth roared. The roar spread from city to city, from shelter to shelter, from soldier to civilian. Earth was not finished. The defenders were rising. The days after Cairo were dark. Cities were gone, armies scattered, machines damaged, but despair did not last forever. Grief became fire, loss became fury. Families who had lost everything gave food to soldiers. Engineers who had seen their homes destroyed built weapons with their bare hands. Children carried water to fighters, whispering, "Don't stop, don't let them win." The aliens had tried to kill hope. Instead, they had made it unbreakable. In the council bunker, while leaders still argued, the president received a secret signal. It was faint, distorted, almost lost, but it came from the deep ocean. It was the Leviathan. Damaged, broken, but alive. Its crew whispered one message: "We are still here. We fight." The president smiled for the first time in weeks. She stood before the council and spoke. "Earth is not finished. Our enemies think despair is enough, but despair is fire, and fire burns." In the council bunker, while leaders still argued, the president received a secret signal. It was faint, distorted, almost lost, but it came from the deep ocean. It was the Leviathan, damaged, broken, but alive. Its crew whispered one message: "We are still here. We fight." The president smiled for the first time in weeks. She stood before the council and spoke. "Earth is not finished. Our enemies think despair is enough, but despair is fire, and fire burns." The council listened as the president revealed her plan. Not defense, not retreat, but attack. Strike the alien command ship, cut off the head, and the fleet will fall. At first, the room erupted in disbelief. "It's impossible," some shouted. "Their shields are too strong." But the president's voice was firm. "Nothing is impossible. We have Titans, we have Stormhawks, we have the Leviathan, we have humanity, and we will strike." Slowly, one by one, the council agreed. Earth would not wait to die. Earth would fight to win. Repairs were rushed. Titan 1, though cracked and scarred, stood tall again. Two more Titans, hidden for years, were awakened. Titan 2, armed with rail cannons. Titan 3, with rocket batteries that could darken the skies. They marched through ruined streets, their footsteps shaking the earth. Civilians cheered as the giants passed, throwing flowers onto their steel feet. "Defend us!" they cried. "Avenge us!" The Titans roared as one. In hidden hangars, engineers rebuilt the Stormhawks. Their AI was recoded, their signals shielded. Thousands were born again, rising from steel nests like birds of war. When they launched, the skies filled with their song. Pilots on the ground cheered, hope burning in their eyes once more. The swarm was reborn. Deep in the ocean, the Leviathan's crew worked without rest. Fires burned, reactors sparked, hulls cracked, but the submarine lived, with repairs nearly complete. The captain spoke to his crew. "This will be our last hunt. But if we strike true, Earth will live." They all nodded. None hesitated. The Leviathan rose once more. While Earth prepared its armies, a small group of soldiers and scientists boarded a stealth ship. Their mission was the most dangerous of all: to pierce the alien fleet, reach the command ship, and destroy it from within. They carried stolen alien codes, Earth-built bombs, and their own unbreakable will. If they failed, Earth would burn. If they succeeded, Earth would rise. The day came. The alien fleet hovered above, confident and vast. The command ship glowed like a black sun, its shields blazing. But then Earth struck. From the Alps, the Titans fired their cannons, tearing into alien ground forces. From the skies, Stormhawks swarmed, shredding alien fighters. From the seas, the Leviathan rose, its torpedoes exploding against carriers. Earth's armies advanced with a roar that shook the heavens. The final battle had begun. In Europe, Titan 1 faced a horde of war hulks. Its cannons roared, its fists shattered steel. Beside it, Titan 2 fired railguns that cut through enemy armor like paper. Titan 3 unleashed rockets that filled the sky with fire. The battlefield shook as giants clashed. Soldiers on the ground fought beneath their shadows, inspired by their strength. One Titan fell, crippled by alien fire. But even as it crashed, its last shot destroyed an entire enemy column. The others fought harder, refusing to stop. Above Asia, the Stormhawks swarmed alien fighters in the thousands. The sky turned into chaos, beams and missiles crossing in every direction. The aliens tried to hack them again, but the new coding held. The swarm moved faster, sharper, deadlier than before. When one drone fell, another took its place. When 100 fell, the rest fought harder. By the end, the skies were filled with burning wreckage, but the Stormhawks still flew. In the Pacific, the Leviathan faced the alien fleet head-on. It fired torpedoes faster than ever, each one striking true. Carriers burned, cruisers sank, destroyers shattered. But the enemy's new depth charges struck back. The submarine shook, alarms blared, water poured through the cracks. The captain gave one last order: ram the flagship. The Leviathan surged upward, engines screaming. It crashed into a massive alien warship, its reactor overloading. The explosion lit the ocean like a second sun. Both ships vanished into the deep. The Leviathan was gone, but so was the enemy fleet. High above, the small human teams slipped through the chaos, their stealth ship weaving past fire and wreckage. They reached the alien command ship, docking in silence. Inside, the halls glowed with strange light, filled with towering guards. The humans moved like shadows, fighting through patrols, planting charges on reactor cores. Every step was deadly, every second counted. Finally, they reached the control chamber. The alien leader waited. His golden eyes burned with rage. "You cannot win," he said. "You are nothing." The human captain raised his rifle. "We are Earth." The final battle began inside the heart of the enemy. The fight was brutal. Blades clashed, beams burned, blood spilled. One by one, the humans fell until only the captain remained. He crawled to the final charge, placing it on the reactor. The alien leader raised his weapon to strike, but with his last breath the captain smiled. For Earth, he pressed the trigger. The command ship erupted. A blinding explosion lit the sky, tearing through shields, ripping the flagship apart. The alien fleet shuddered. Without their leader, without their command, they faltered. Confusion spread, orders failed, ships turned, some fled. Others fell. The invasion collapsed. On Earth, soldiers looked to the skies. The burning wreckage of the command ship fell like meteors. Alien ships scattered, retreating into the void. Titan I raised its arm in triumph. The Stormhawks flew in. Victory arcs. Civilians poured from shelters, cheering, weeping, shouting with joy. The war for Earth was over, and Earth had won. But victory came with a heavy price. Millions were gone. Cities lay in ruins. The Leviathan lost to the deep. Titans shattered, Stormhawks broken, heroes fallen. Yet even in grief, pride burned stronger. For the first time in history, Earth had faced the galaxy and endured. When the smoke cleared, the president stood before the cameras. "People of Earth," she said, "you have fought the impossible. You have paid the price of freedom, and you have won it. This is not the end. This is the beginning. To the stars, we send this message. Earth is not prey. Earth is not weak. We are defenders. We are survivors. We are human, and we are ready." This message blazed across the galaxy. The war was over, but the story had only begun. Civilians rebuilt, soldiers trained, engineers forged new weapons. The world scarred, but the world alive, prepared for what would come next. Because the galaxy had seen Earth's strength. Some would fear it, some would hate it. Others might seek it, and Earth would be ready. The defenders had risen, and they would never fall again.